Good afternoon, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Today I'm going to be showing you, this is a how-to multiple tutorial. This is how to set up DLNA servers, SMB servers, FTP servers, and also DHCP servers on a wireless extender. It's a bit of a mouthful, and you're probably wondering how is this all possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the hardware, and then we're going to go into the software, and then we're going to bring both of them together and show you how it's linked and the concepts behind it. This is going to be a lengthy tutorial, so if you've got like, I don't know, half an hour or so in your time to watch this video, feel free to watch. If not, that's fine. But yeah, I'm going to show you the hardware first and then the software, and then together. So we're going to go to the master of how this is going to happen. So this is a wireless router. This is a FRITZBOX router. So the first thing is the wireless extender. What does this mean? Well, first and foremost, a wireless extender or a wireless extender range traditionally, because I've set this up differently, but we're going to be talking traditional. What it does is, and here I'm in a shed. The modem's quite far away inside, but what happens is when I'm in the shed and I'm accessing the internet wirelessly, the reception, if I'm connected directly to the modem inside, the reception cuts in and out, or it gets choppy with iPads and phones and all that. So this is what a wireless extender range does is it goes from this device, which is the extender range, and then this itself wirelessly, and it's only FRITZBOX and TP-Link, I don't know, that allows this in the firmware. There's probably other brands that do it, but this is the way I'm doing it. So this connects to the modem directly inside. So, and by tradition, it's the modem inside that gives out is the DHCP server. So DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Controller Protocol. So what this does is when a wireless or a wired device attempts to connect to a network, a local area network or LAN, it has to obtain an IP address. So just like you've got a physical address where you stay, depending where it is, well, this is the same with wireless devices. It needs a local IP address to access the network, wherever it's you know, through DHCP. That's just the law of computers and electronics that have Wi-Fi or wired LAN. So traditionally, it's the modem inside that, or the router inside, that designates all the IP addresses for the devices to log on to the local area network and also to talk to each other, because when you're talking about internet, you're talking about wide area network or WAN. So yeah, so that's the difference between WAN. WAN talks to the wider community. LAN is your phone, tablet, computer talking to each other without going to the wider network. How I've set up this one is it is doing the traditional the signals going from here to the modem inside, but how I've set this one up is the modem inside still does DHCP for all the devices and all that and the people inside, plus including this one. So this has got an IP address on the network inside, a local IP address, but this also does its own DHCP server too. So what this means is when you connect to this modem, which is hidden, by the way, the wireless network is hidden. So traditionally when you scan for wireless networks around here, this one won't show up. You've got to enter the information manually. and that's for another reason too. But when you connect directly to this one, it's this modem here, or this router here, that gives the local IP addresses. So the PlayStation 3, my DLNA renderer, which is a Panasonic home theater system, which I'm going to be showing you soon, and also the IP address for the Samba DLNA server and the FTP server, which is a 1 terabyte hard drive plugged in the USB, and also it's USB 3.0. So that's a bit of a mouthful, but we'll continue on. This means also that any devices connected to the inside modem cannot talk to the devices that are connected to this modem. It's because traditionally Wi-Fi extender ranges they do a service called point-to-point protocol over Ethernet, or PPPoE, via WLAN, or wireless local area network. And what that means is, if I had this set up, this device that I'm recording off will connect to this modem. The modem will pass the inquiry to the modem inside, and then it's the modem inside that will give the DHCP. It'll probably go back down the line to this, and then it'll come out, and then I get the IP address to log on to the network. So that means any Chromecasts or any other devices that are inside, I can see them and stream to them. But since I've set it up, so this is a DHCP server as well, any DLNA devices or renderers, or I've got on this directly to this modem, won't be seen inside, because this is parked on the inside network as a normal device. Wherever you were to do it with a phone, a computer, or a tablet, it's parked inside as a just a local device. So yeah, but so that is DHCP for you and how it works and the different methods. So let's get on to the DLNA renderers, or and DLNA. So what is DLNA? So DLNA stands for Digital Network Living Alliance, and the service has been out for a few years. Certain smart TVs that connect to the internet support it, and also home theater systems, also gaming consoles like Xbox 360. But in this case, we're going to be using a PlayStation 3. Or support DLNA rendering, and also can access DLNA clients. So what DLNA does is, as I was telling you, I've got a 1 terabyte hard drive connected to the network, and it has a DLNA server built into this. So what that does is, what the DLNA server will do is, any music, movies, pictures, and other things that are designed for DLNA, it'll index the hard drive. So that means scanning all the files on the hard drive. If you've got multiple partitions on a hard drive, it'll scan them. And any like MP3s, WMAs, RV files for video, or MP4, the DLNA will put them in the designated places. So, MP4 is for video, so that'll go in the video section of the server, which I will show you. Same with music, MP3 and WMA, and all that will go into the music section, and same with the images like JPEG, GIF, and PNG files, which file extensions, will go into the pictures. So a DLNA, that's a DLNA server. It organizes all your files on the drive, so it can be readily available for any devices that support DLNA rendering, and also DLNA clients can access. With DLNA, you can't write, you can only read only, because DLNA is only designed really for devices to pass on information to each other. So say for an example, if I browse the DLNA with say for an example a app called Servercast on my phone, and then Servercast will also see DLNA renderers, which is the home theater system, the Panasonic. That means that instead of playing it on the render on the phone, so because each phone has a render of its own, whether it's a music player or a video player, those are called renderers because you're rendering the music or the videos through your phone. But what a DLNA can do is, if you've got a like Servercast and you want to say sing it on a big screen like this 55-inch TV here, if you've got a DLNA device hooked up to it, a renderer, you can render it through, in this case, the home theater system. So I've got two LAN LAN cables plugged in, hardwired cables plugged into the router, and that is the PlayStation 3 and also the home theater system. It's a Panasonic smart home theater system. So those are what you call renderers, and the PS3 can also be a client, because with a PlayStation 3 you can browse the DLNA server, so you can see what's on it, you can copy from it. Even later computers like Windows 10 and 8.1 by default can see DLNA servers if you're connected to the same Wi-Fi or wired network as the server. By default it'll come up under network locations under this PC. Windows 7 you can do it, but you need third-party programs to browse. It traditionally doesn't do it by default. So yeah, so I've got music, as I said, and also videos or movies on it. So I might want to watch a movie that's on my server. So I won't be saying how I got the movies, because I only download and save movies for personal reasons. I do not sell or anything like that, so I don't want to get in trouble. I might want to watch a movie on the big screen, and there might be a few people in the shed that want to watch it with me. So I say, oh, okay. So I grab my phone, open the Servercast app, which that's the app I use to browse the server and also to send it to the renderer, which I'll show you in a bit. As I said, this is a lengthy tutorial, so that's DLNA. So DLNA is it's just making your life easier when it comes to managing your media or your personal files on a network, and can stream them to DLNA compatible devices. So Samba, let's get into Samba. This is probably a service that a lot of people that get into IT are familiar with, because DLNA is more recent than Samba. Samba's been out for years, ever since Windows XP, and probably a bit more when Windows Millennium in 2000 was out. But Samba is like, it's really another thing for network drives. So pretty much Samba server, it's like if you were to have that hard drive directly plugged into your computer, you can browse a Samba server using a phone or an iPad as well, if you've got the right apps. Ease File Manager does that. You can choose network and then LAN, and what the app will do, once you push scan, it'll scan for any Samba servers on the network, and as long as you know the username and password to log into Samba server, you can access that as well. So I'll be showing you that as well, because I've got my computer running in my studio, which is hooked wirelessly to this, and it's also got the Samba server set up, so I'll show you that too. So Samba is like having a device plugged in directly to it, and you can browse it like a normal hard drive, where it's not limited to DLNA. DLNA, only certain files can be accessed. With Samba server you can access files that don't come up in DLNA, like docs and documents and PDFs. All those files that you use for documentation, and also yeah, you can just browse it like a normal hard drive, like if you would have it directly plugged in, but it's remotely plugged in rather than yeah. FTP. So FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. This is usually based. FTP is usually based on a how can I put it? This is usually based on if you're using a web browser like Internet Explorer, Firefox or Google Chrome to access your files and folders over the network. So usually this will have a specific address. You put in the specific FTP URL to put in your web browser, and then you log in if you know the username and password, and also you can access the files. And that's also not limited to DLNA. You can access PDFs and all the other traditional documents and docs and Word documents, Excel spreadsheets that you've saved on the hard drive. You can access those as well through FTP. Depending on what permissions you've given as well, or depending what you can do with, and this goes for Samba too, you can set it to read only. So I can read and write. As an admin of this network, I can read and write, but I've also set up a guest login where you can log into the Samba server through guest, where you can browse all my files, but you can't write. So that means you can't modify any files, you can't delete any files, you can't move any files from one location of the hard drive to another location. No directories. You can't do that with read only. You can only download, stream, and that's it. You can't do anything else. With read and write, you can modify it. You can do pretty much what I can do on an admin. So that's DLNA, DHCP, Samba, and FTP covered. So that's the hardware side of how I've set it up. So you've got, as I said, you've got a hard drive and two LAN cables plugged into there, into the PlayStation, and also the home theater system. The home theater system's plugged into here through HDMI. So we get a 1080p look for movies and videos. And I've got saved. And yeah, we'll fire the TV up in that first, later, sorry, but first we're going to go to my server that's in here. My server, my studio computer, which is all-in-one. So I'm going to show you the Samba server, so you know what I'm talking about. Sorry, it's dark in here. Just wake my computer up. So this is computer. All right. As you can see, this is, you can't see the DLNA server under network locations because this is Windows 7. If I was to log into Windows 8, which this computer has, it's a, you can try boot on this, which has got 7, 8 and Android, because I love Android for gaming. Old school games like emulators, Nintendo 64 and all that, it works fine. I mean, especially the earlier versions of Android, but that's out of the scope of this tutorial. But if you look, let's see if I can zoom in, there. So under network locations, you've got a SMB slash FRITZBOx or ET's NAS. That's what I've called the Samba server. It's a NAS server. So this is a network location. So if we go into it, these look like folders to you. These are actually partitions of the drive that I've plugged in because I've partitioned it. What partition means is it sections off the drive into different areas, so you can do other things, but we won't get into that. But it's coming up as folders too, so we've got partition 2. So if you go into here, just a minute, it's loading. So in here we've got audio lessons, or in audio books we've got documentaries, we've got music clips, we've got movies, we've got TV shows. So all these files are also in the DLNA server, which we will browse soon. So since this computer is logged in under an admin account as read-write, I can modify these folders. So if we go into audio lessons, and if we just say, for an example, we go to kids audio, kids books. So these are, hang on, I just changed the view. So say for an example, these are all the audio books that I've got, right? These are audio books. Say for an example, I wanted to move this book randomly, or this folder that contains a book, out. So if we go cut, which is, you can right click or go Control X, and if we say for an example, just paste. Okay, so if we go Control, so there we go. So what that's doing now is it's moving it's moved the audio book to the bottom, which is highlighted. So that means that I have read-write. If you had read-only, you wouldn't be able to move, as I was saying before, or modify the directories. You could only read. So I have Samba server guest mode set up too, so you can just read it. So that's Samba server. So it's like the hard drive that I showed you before is plugged into the net directly to my computer, but it's not. I've only got 3 working USB ports on here, which has got the keyboard, mouse, and another one if I want to plug a external device like a phone or controller, which I use for gaming. So this comes in handy for if you've got limited USB ports on the computer. Also, it's easier to share your files over a network. And all that. So that's Samba server. And just a side note, as I was saying, this, as I said, the DHCP server. So this computer has obtained an IP address from the modem that I showed you before. This is not connected to the inside modem. Is that DHCP? It's connected to the local one here, not the inside one. So any devices inside that are connected to that modem won't be able to talk to this network, because it'll just come up as another device parked on the network, and it's also got a firewall on it too. So any traffic trying to go through that way, it won't happen. I've done testing and all that in the past. So that's the Samba. So let's go to my phone, my other S7, and I'm going to be showing you through the S7 the setup, the software setup. So let's unlock this phone. Sorry. You got to figure out, and it's different for each router, but you got to figure out the local IP address of the router, or the router, sorry. So in this case, we've got you can't see the full address, but if we've got 192.168.188.1, and as you see, it's got FRITZBOX, so we'll push that. And now we have a FRITZBOX logon screen, which has the password in it. Just a minute, I'm just going to, and I'll show you what I mean about how I set up the servers. So if we click please select. So Bladden 100, that's what we're connected to as the Samba server, and also the login as well to and everything like that. See, we got guest, which the Bladden 100 has access to everything. It has full access to what the FRITZBOX provides. We see the guest one that's down the bottom here only has access to the NAS server as read only. So they can access my files, they can stream them, they can download them, but they cannot modify them. But we'll log in, and we'll log into this because I've already saved the password. And I'll show you what I mean by a wireless extender range. So if you look here, on this side over here, it's got provider existing connection over wireless LAN. So that's saying it's the existing connection that exists, and it's connected to the existing connection through a wireless local area network. And if we quickly look here, provider connection, it says when it's connected, existing connection over LAN, and there is the IP address that the modem inside has designated it. So it's 192.168.188.254. That's a static IP address because I've set the modem inside to give it that address every time. These reasons why you do that, and also the DNS is 192.168.188.1. That's actually the router's IP address for inside, which is the same IP address as that. But that'll be confusing to go how I've set that up. I'm only showing you the basics. So that's the connection. That's the wireless extender range. So if we go to the menu over here, and then we go to we'll just close internet, and then if we go to home network, and you see there we've got storage NAS, and we also got media server. So the media server, we'll click it. I know that sometimes this can be blurry, but I'll explain it. So it says media server enabled, so that's the DLNA, and that's the name of the DLNA server, RobET. So that means that when I browse for the server, that this will that's what it will that's the name of the server, the DLNA. And over here we can set restrictions. So there's, at the moment it's on no restriction. So as you can see the two, the movies and more, and also the Android folders. These are the partitions of the hard drive you saw on the Samba. So they come up as folders, but they are partitions on the hard drive, which I'll get into another time. So that's what I put on no restrictions. So the DLNA server has access and can index all the drive and all the drives connected. So if I was to plug a new drive in and keep the old one there, it'll just update the information and index that drive, whatever's on it, and also add it to the existing DLNA server. If I replace the whole hard drive, it'll just update and index that one and erase all the other information. Even the Samba will still stay the same, but it'll be different information because obviously a different hard drive. But if we go to server-NAS, now we're talking about a NAS server or the Samba. So here we've got it enabled, storage NAS enabled, so we've got that. So these are the drives, as I said, or the partitions that it's indexed. So we've got a new volume, we've got two. Sorry, I've got a funny taste in my mouth. Oh, we've got Fritz, we've got two. We've got, these are all the drives, all the partitions that there. I think Android, that's not created because we don't really need to. And it's got the other partitions here too. So if we go down a bit more, as you can see, we've got enable via FTP server. So that's what I was talking about before. And enable via enable via network drive, and it's got SMB on brackets enabled, so that's enabled too. So that means in order to access the network drive, which I just showed you on the computer here, which is that, you have to log in with the username, which I showed you in the part just before. So that's the name of the server, ets.nas, and the working group is home group. So that is how you use it as a Windows network drive. And also so yeah, that's the software side of things. So is there anything I need to show you? DHCP, I've explained about that. DLNA, I've explained. So I've showed you the hardware and the software. Now I'm going to show you how to demonstrate. I'm going to demonstrate how I've already demonstrated how Samba works. So I'm going to demonstrate how DLNA servers and renderers work. So we'll come from here and we're going to go back out. And now I'm going to show you DLNA renderers and also how to cast to a renderer, either through your phone or also browse through a PlayStation. So we're going to turn on this TV. So if we turn on this TV, and if I grab the control for the PlayStation 3, turn her on, push the button, and then it sends this Bluetooth signal to the game. Just wait for it to power up. Oh, that's turning on because it sent a signal for the HDMI to turn it on. We'll actually turn it off for now. ARC. So yeah, ARC is actually streaming that through streaming the sound through 5.1 surround sound. I set stereo at the moment because the way I've set up the home theater system. But anyway, that's not what we're looking at. So if we go to the TV here, let me zoom out. This is too far zoomed in. if we go to the TV here, and if we go to, so if we go to say videos, oh, that's another. That's my Windows has also got a media server as well. I'll see if I can access it. I haven't tried. No, I can't. So if we go down, and that's the raw BT I was telling you about. So if we go here, so just give it a minute, and just give it a couple of seconds. It's just loading. So, okay. Yeah, well, so see, we've got music, images, videos, web radio because it supports podcasts, and file index. So we are under videos for the PS3, the videos tab. So in this tab you can only play videos. So if we go videos, we go all videos or folders. So we'll go folders because all videos it'll bring up all the videos. So we've got 2, which has got say documentaries and all that on it, and we've got movies and more, movies plus _ more. So actually I'll show you, because so documentaries, movies, music clips, TV shows. So you notice that the well, if I go into audio lessons will be there, but we're under video, so these are all the video things. So if we go under documentaries, all the documentaries come up. I can stream them or copy them. So that's same with the movies. So if you go into movies, just give it a second. So about the Treaty of Waitangi, Catch Me If You Can. We've also got unsupported data, Hotel Transylvania. So these are all them on the thing. I've got more movies in here, but so this is a DLNA server. So I can render the movies in that through here. So if we go about Treaty of Waitangi and we push X, it'll start rendering. See? So then you can also browse and.
Oh, you're Reverend.
So yeah, that just gives you an example that you can browse that through DLNA. So this is a DLNA client, the PlayStation, so that means that you know, we can browse it, the server with the client, and also it's got a renderer inside it, which is the internal player. See if we go into same here. If we go into folders, our playlist folders. 2. See, audio lessons comes up, and kids books. So these are all the books I can browse on the network. See if we go into them. There you go. It comes up with all the audio files of that. So that's and same with images too, which I don't really got photos on the DLNA server. It's really just album artwork and everything like that. So if we go there, same thing. Oh, images. If some of these folders contain, actually no. If we go to images, and if we go to all photos, our folders, same thing too. Oh, there must be some pictures. There must be some pictures. Yeah, there is. So see, that's the DLNA server for the images. So that's one way you can browse a DLNA server. And this is the hardware. This is connected hardwired. So we're going to shut this down. Another way you can do it, if, say for example, I sort of don't want to use the PlayStation, I can just use my home theatre system, which is plugged in at the back through a LAN cable as well. That's the second thing that's plugged in. So we'll put this back behind here. Here we're going to change the channel to there. So just wait until it comes up. So just go home. So this is a DLNA renderer. So this is just it's parked on the network, and we're going to pull out my phone. So we're going to pull out the phone, we're going to come back to the phone, sorry that it's inverted. And you can use a lot of apps. This we're going to use Servercast, and I'm just going to demonstrate rendering a movie to it. So here's the DLNA server, as it says, RobET, DLNA, and it's got the IP address. Just a minute, scratching. So these are all the folders, same thing, music, image, videos. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go videos. We're going to go to folders, because if you go all videos, my music clips, the movies and other videos will find comes up. So I want to be more specific. So we go to, if we go movies, and then we'll see if Hotel Transylvania will play. So or just any movie, it doesn't really matter. So if we go we'll just click this movie, so we go here. So it's saying that I'm not connected to a DLNA renderer, so if it's giving me the option to on a browse, so we'll go connect to, and if you look there, that one that says BLAT DLNA, and it's got the IP address 192.168, that's this home theater system here. So this is a renderer parked on the network. So what this app's going to do is, once I select it, it's going to tell the renderer here, I've got a local URL for you, not an internet. We've got a local URL for you that I want you to stream off the DLNA server, and that's what happens. So oh, the phone's gone to sleep. So if we click that, yep. And then it'll say please wait. So what it's doing now is it's sending it to the renderer, and there you go. So this is a movie stored on the hard drive, Hotel Transylvania 2. So as you can see, I can watch movies, as I was saying, and I download them, and then I can watch them locally without using the internet, because I'm rural. And I'm just going to push home just to get rid of this. So that means any movies I download off the internet for just my purposes of watching, I can stream it. Also, there's an app called Web Video Caster, which is a family to Servercast. And what Web Video Caster does, you can do the exact same thing but over the internet. So I can actually go to the movies website that I got these from, and I can actually just stream it directly to the DLNA device. So it's getting it directly off the internet. But I only get 50 up and 50 down, so I'm sharing it with a few people. So it's best to download it, put it through Samba, copy it, because I can access the Samba server through my phone, through Ease File Manager, and I can copy that video to move the video to the hard drive on the network that I showed you, and play it like I just done. That was one of the movies I downloaded lately. So as I said, I won't show you how to do that because it's only for personal. So that is pretty much the hardware of how my setup, the software of the setup, and the firmware configuration, and also how it benefits me. Some people might be different, they might want a different setup than this. I'm only just saying this is one way to do it, and if you're interested, well, get you a FRITZBOX, because it can do a lot of things. You probably use the TP-Link or other capable devices like the Vodafone modems do it too, but it doesn't, I don't do it as a, I don't plug it to the main modem, because as I said, I only want this network as a private network for myself. I don't want others to access my Samba server and browse it, because, well, it's just everything. This is my space that I sleep in and all that, so I want my own private network, and it's fair enough. They've got the private network inside, and I leave that alone, and I just connect to this one where I can stream and play and everything. So That's pretty much a in-depth tutorial of how to set up a Samba server, a DLNA server, how to use DLNA renderers, and also FTP and DHCP. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Sorry that it was lengthy, but I try to explain it in layman's terms so the average Joe can watch this video and say, hey, that makes sense. So anyway, until then, you all have a good day, and until then, we'll see you next time, and chur chur.